everyone, it's Ephraim here from Passport One Comics. Well, I don't have new comic books to show you right now, unfortunately. They just haven't come in. So hopefully in a couple of days I will have some more. But before I go any further, please hit that like, subscription, and notification button. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for checking it out. If you're one of my regular viewers, I always appreciate whomever watches my videos. So before I go any further, I want to give props to a person that I follow on Instagram. His name is Christagram99. He sells comic books on Instagram like every 3 weeks, every month, and they're really good sales. He sells modern books, of course. There's some modern books in there, but a lot of his focus seems to be on Bronze Age, Copper, and Silver Age comic books, and he's always got really nice comic books for sale. If you don't know what silver, bronze, or copper, or modern age mean, I did a video about a month ago describing the different ages of comic books, and I'll put a link on it at the very end of this video. He's also doing a raffle right now for Amazing Spider-Man, the very first Punisher. I think it's Amazing Spider-Man number 121. It's a raffle going on. There's 40 spots, and you have to pay a certain amount for each spot. So if you wanted spot number 1, if it has not taken, you say you want spot number 1, number 10, up to number 40. And then when they're filled, you send them, what's owed, and then he does the raffle, and one lucky person wins that comic book. And I'm trying to win it, so hopefully, Chris, I will. Let me see, anything else? No, that's about it. So I wanted to go talk about my main topic for today, which is comic book conventions. I'm sure there are some people who have never gone to conventions, so I'm going to answer hopefully some of your questions if you're considering going. The first thing you have to do, and this one I'm going to be talking mostly about San Diego Comic Con. I've gone to other ones called WonderCon and Emerald Con, and I'll get to those. But the main one that I go to since I live in San Diego is San Diego Comic Con. The first year I went was in 1993, and I went with my cousin. He was only 13 at the time. I've mentioned this story before, but we were just, I'd never been to a comic book convention, and we were just basically caught unaware. I don't even remember even bringing food or water or a backpack. The days went by so quick, but we had loads of fun. But ever since then, I've been going every year basically, and I picked up a few things. So I'm going to give you some tips of what I know about comic book conventions. So the first one for San Diego Comic Con is you have to register on their website, and I will also have a link in the description for their website. You have to register your name, basically your information, and you want to opt in for emails because once a year, except for this year, since San Diego Comic Con last year was canceled, they carried over the badges from 2020 to this year, 2021. So hopefully we'll be able to go. But you normally register, and then once a year at a certain date, they tell you, okay, here's a passcode. You get into between 8 and 9 a.m. We're allowing people in. And after 9 a.m., we're going to start choosing people randomly. They call it the corral. There's no way you can be in the front of the line or in the back of the line. If you register at 8:59 and somebody registered at 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter. They just start choosing people randomly. And if you're chosen, you get to pick badges for yourself and for 2 other people. Now, they give you 15 minutes. 15 minutes seems like a long time, but it goes by quick because you're nervous. You're putting in all your information. The other 2 people, you have to put in their information also, and you have to put in your credit card information. So 15 minutes goes by really quick. And if you mess up, it'll let you know, and you got to figure out how you messed up. I usually do it with a group of people. We help each other out. So every year, knock on wood, we've been getting in. Okay, so say you got your badges and you're all set to go. If you don't live in the city of San Diego, you have to think about airfare, or if you want to drive, and you got to think about hotels or where you want to stay. So those are 2 other things, that right after Comic-Con, the badges, you have to get that in order too. So there's a lot you have to do. But say you have all that done, okay? You're going to Comic-Con. One, bring a backpack. You don't have to bring a backpack. You could bring a shoulder bag or whatever, but I recommend bringing a backpack where you can put things in. Obviously, first thing utmost is water or Gatorade or some kind of hydration because you're there for a long time and you get tired and you want to drink and you have your water handy with you, or if you want to go to a store and buy some water, but you get it, so hopefully you get it. And another thing is bring food and snacks. You're gonna be if you bring food like lunch, which you can bring a sandwich or something, to eat. But there's restaurants all around outside of the convention center. It's called the Gas Lamp District. There's restaurants in basically in every corner. A lot is happening outside too, and there's also hotels all around Gas Lamp where you can get something to eat. So there is food available. So next thing is to wear proper footwear. Try to get as comfortable the shoes as possible. You're going to be standing around a lot, and the more comfortable the shoes, the better you'll be off because your feet sometimes you'll be aching at the end of the day. And then guess what? Next thing you got to do it all over again. And San Diego Comic Con is in the summertime, so it's usually about 80, 85 degrees. So wear proper clothing also. I wear shorts and a t-shirt basically, and my tennis shoes and my backpack. And backpacks get heavy if you keep on buying stuff. It weighs you down, so you get tired. Another thing to bring is a portable camping chair. Highly recommended because when you're at Comic Con, a lot of times if you want something or if you want to go see a panel, say panels or where they talk about comic books, they can talk about TV shows, they can talk about upcoming movies. People get in line for those. And if it's more popular, more people get in line and you have to wait in line for hours. So if you have a chair, it just makes things a lot more comfortable. And they're, portable so they can collapse easily. I'll have a picture of them up here so you get the idea of the chairs that I'm talking about. So say you're at Comic-Con, you got in, you have everything ready, expect a humongous crowd. You're going to be shoulder to shoulder to everybody else that wants to get in also. So you have to be weary of that. There's nothing bad with it. There's just a lot of people. A lot of times in Comic-Con, if you get tired, sit down. There's no harm in sitting down. You see people lying down, sitting down everywhere at Comic-Con because it's a very tiring day, but you have to be more and more. I get myself psyched up to go to Comic Con mentally wise, because that's a big thing. People get tired and they wear down, and sometimes they get cranky and they get upset if you don't get something that you want. So try to be as relaxed as possible. If something happens that you don't get into a panel or you don't get the comic book that you want, let it go. It just happens. I mean, everybody else wants it too, and only a certain amount of people can get them. If you don't get them, oh well, move on to the next thing. And there'll be plenty of things to do at Comic-Con inside the convention center and more outside the convention center. As I mentioned before, there's this area called the Gas Lamp District and Petco Park where the Padres play. They have venues inside of there, and in the parking lots, they have all kinds of exhibits that you can go to, like Nickelodeon, The Walking Dead. They take over completely of the Gas Lamp District and they open up things. And for those venues, and behind the convention center too is the marina, and there's all kinds of FX is there, Fox, IMBD. They have their boat there and they have parties there. You can't get in, but they have parties. But you can see celebrities going inside of there. So there's all kinds of things to do outside of the convention center also. And the good thing about that, it's free. You don't need a badge for doing any of that. The only badge that you need is to get inside the convention center where all the panels happen, where all the sales happen. That you do need a badge, and they're very strict on that. The badge, you have to tap it in. There's like a little, you have to go through like a little beeper thing. You put your badge there and it tells you that you're in and you're out. So they're very strict on that. So I've never seen anybody try to sneak in. If you sneak in or if they find out who you are, they'll like ban you. You won't be able to go back. So you have to be aware of that also. It's a long day at Comic-Con. It's enjoyable, but it's a long day. So pace yourself. Don't try to run from one thing to another, because most likely it's not going to happen. You know, the big day for panels at Comic Con is Saturday. It's in Hall H. Hall H. It fits about 6,000 people, and that's when they announce all the big movies that are coming out in next year. Marvel's there. They have, you know, all the movies that are coming out, you know, back in the past, you know, when Captain America came out, when the Avengers, they announce it there, and they show a clip of the movie, and they talk about movies that are coming up, and also for Star Wars and for DC comic books and for just other comic books that not are they don't have to be superhero related comic movies. Just seems like most of them are nowadays, but all these actors and actresses come out to promote their movies, and word of mouth, it gets around. You know, it's very popular. But for Hall H, basically the day before, you have to start getting in line, or even 2 days before for Hall H on Saturday, you have to get in line, because if you don't, there's a good chance you don't get in. And that's the dilemma. You spend a day in line for, say, you spend a day in Friday, you're there, you're not going to see other things because you're in line. And then on Saturday, you're in there in the convention center, basically from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and you're missing everything else. So you have to choose what you want to do. If going to these panels is important to you, you go to them. If it's not, there's other smaller panels throughout the day inside the convention center. Besides Hall H, there's Ballroom 20. I think it fits between about 2,000 and 3,000. That's mostly TV shows. So if you want to do that, you can do that. There's smaller panels, comic book related, or just actors that go there and just talk about what they've done in the past. Or if you don't want to do that, you can go to the actual convention center where all the sales happen. There's this one area called Artist Alley. It's where artists, basically, they set up a booth, something like this almost, and then you go up to them and you say, hey, can you draw something for me? They're called commissions. So, you know, they usually only could take a certain amount of commissions per day, so you have to get there early. And if you get there early for that, you're going to miss something else. So you get the idea. You have to just pick and choose what's more important to you. I like commissions a lot. And if I find an artist that I like, you know, I try to communicate with them, excuse me, early, a couple of days before, or even a couple of weeks that I'm coming, if they can reserve a spot for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So they can draw basically whatever you want them to. If you want them to draw Power Rangers, they'll draw one of the Power Rangers for you. Transformers, any type of superhero. If they can, they'll draw it for you. So that being said, I've gone to WonderCon in the past, and WonderCon is in Anaheim. WonderCon is like a sister con to Comic-Con. It's run by the same company. They're a nonprofit organization. It's like a smaller version of San Diego Comic-Con. They still sell stuff there. You can still go to Artist Alley. You can buy comic books, toys, statues, prints, t-shirts, just like Comic-Con, but it's just not as big. There are some actors that show up to promote their shows, but the panels are just smaller. To me, San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest one. It's where everybody always wants to go. It's a must-see destination if you're into comic books and that type of genre. Every summer, one year I went to Emerald Con in Seattle. It was in March of 2019. As I mentioned, for San Diego Comic Con, make sure you have the proper shoes and clothing. I didn't quite have that exactly in Seattle. I didn't think about the weather, and in March, to me, it was cold. I had a jacket, but I wish I would have bought a little bit more warmer clothing. It was just a little bit cold for me. So, but that being said, they had, you know, I had never been to Seattle before, so I got to do some sightseeing, which was pretty awesome too. I went to the very first Starbucks in Seattle, so they had this big tourist attraction. And I went to the fish market too. I went to see that tall tower. I forgot what it's called. I'll put it at the bottom afterwards. What it's called. I went there. So, I mean, I had a really good time. The food was fantastic. Of course, we went to eat a lot, and it was a great experience. One of these years, hopefully I'll be able to go to New York City Comic Con. I heard that's a really great con too. I like to go, hopefully maybe one of these days, to Hawaii. They have a convention there. Who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii and a comic book convention? I mean, that's like wow, the perfect setting. I'm not sure if their booths are out in the beach or not. Yes, that'd be cool, obviously. But I think it's inside a convention center. So there are some websites that can help you if you ever go to a comic book convention. San Diego Comic Con has on Facebook. There's a lot of groups that you can join. That's San Diego Comic Cons. Obviously, most of it's focused on Comic Con. They help people out if they have questions about the convention center, what's going to happen. I belong to one or two groups. I'll put the link in the description also. There's this website. I believe it's called the Unofficial San Diego Comic Con blog. That's a really good site. They really give updates, up to the minute updates of things that are happening at Comic Con until the last day. I will also put a link on in the description for that website. So hopefully that will answer some of your questions about going to a comic book convention. Like I said, just try to enjoy the whole convention scene. Sometimes it may get overwhelming, and I do get overwhelmed sometimes when I go to a convention. It's a lot to do. You try to put everything into 4 days, but you just can't do everything. So my tips again, my most important tips is wear proper clothing, tennis shoes and clothing, bring food, water, and most important, try to enjoy yourself. It's an experience. If you've never done it before, hopefully you'll survive and you'll want to come back and do more of them. Um, Anything else? I mean, you can think of anything else. Oh yeah, if you want to leave a comment on your tips that when people who have gone to comic book conventions, I'd like to hear your tips of what to do or some things I might have missed some things. Please leave a comment on that, and also leave a comment if you have any questions about comic book conventions. I will try to answer them. Hopefully, or if somebody else sees a comment, hopefully they'll be able to answer them. So I think that's all I have for you. Like I said, I should be getting some more comic books really soon to show you. I may be doing another raffle. I said I would do it like every 300 or 500, but I may be doing another one because I enjoy giving them away. Not all my comic books, but I like doing these raffles or these giveaways, I should say. So hopefully I'll be doing one in a couple of weeks, or we'll see. But that's all I have for you this time. This is Ephraim from Past Point One Comics. Take care and be safe out there.